Hey yo, G Dash, boy, take your hat off. Fine. This week on Hats Off with G Dash Jones.
When I say an actor, a content creator, done from the skits to to it also got bars, right? They don't even know you got bars. Listen, they don't
And
know the
no,
version of
no,
you that
a
got
lot of
bars.
people don't
They
know. A
don't
lot of people don't know. I
listen,
keep that on the
listen.
hush.
Bilingual bars, you feel me? They don't know that he had bilingual bars, you feel me? Yes, the bilingual bars. I'm talking and been on on the shows and the movies, the Univision. Yeah, man, I thought you was gonna find your wife up there. I don't know. It was a whole lot happening. Okay, a whole lot happening.
Man, listen.
Kings of
Woo.
Newark, Garcias. There's more than that. My man, Zeus Sosias. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good, my brother. Thank you for having me on, man. It's great to see you. Great to share in your presence once again, man. And we go back quite a bit, man. So I'm excited, man.
Yes. Well, listen, let's start here. Tell people just a little bit about yourself, something that they, in case they don't know you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm a New York native originally, from Central Islip, New York. I moved to Delaware in my younger years, right? Um, with my mother, but I was between parents, right? So I was between Delaware and New York. This is where I met this fine gentleman right here. Um, so I kind of took that journey. I grew up with a mother who was an actress, who studied acting while I was growing up, and you know, I wanted to pursue the same dream essentially. I'm also a single father. I have two daughters, two teenage daughters at that. Um, but yeah, I have my, my 9 to 5, my full-time job, but I'm pursuing acting, content creation, basically all the dreams that I've always had, pursuing those things on the side right now. And just trying to have fun with it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You live once. You gotta live your life, man. You know what I'm saying? And all those goals and all those dreams that you have, you can't let them fall by the waistline. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm doing right now is just pursuing all those dreams that I've always had.
Absolutely. So now let's slide it back a little bit. So tell me about kind of your journey into performing arts.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So growing up, my mother used to enroll me in a lot of acting classes and stuff like that. And that's where I got the acting bug, I would say, right? As I was growing up, I think you remember, right? Not only was I exploring, the music scene, of course, because I was very much, grew up huge fan of hip hop, of course. Um, but also, had a passion for the arts as far as acting. I was in one of the high school musicals, you remember? In West Side Story when I was like in 11th grade. And then as I got older, life happened. Had kids, had the family, that whole deal. And, you know, fell in and out of love. You know how it works. Um, So ended up a single father, right? Had to raise my two girls for the majority of their life myself. And as they got older, they were more independent. That gave me a little bit more freedom to kind of explore all these goals and dreams that I've always had. And that leaves me where I am today to kind of finally get back to those things.
Right. Okay. Now, there's some interesting things here, right? So you grow up kind of performing music on stages, doing some things. Then now, right now, now you're back to performing, and now you're on screen more so than stages, right?
Right.
Uh, is there what's it like to is there any of the things that happened when you were younger that you take with you when you get on these screens, or is it a whole new world?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So it's funny because when I was younger, the acting experience that I had was actually mainly on stage. So not only was I getting the musical kind of stage time, right? When we were participating in talent shows together and all that good stuff. I was also doing theater as well, right? And theater is much different from film, man. When you're in theater and you're in front of a whole audience and you're trying to get your lines right, you're trying to, kind of get everything right, you only have one shot. You know what I mean? There's no, hey, cut, let's try that again, like there is with film, right? Film, you have that luxury. If you forget your lines, guess what? They can say cut and we'll try it again. When you're on stage, if you mess up, you got to think on your feet, right? And that's the same thing on the musical side of things, right? You know, I remember our talent show. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot one of my lines, and I was like, I had to just go off the top of my head right then and
Well,
there because I'm like,
hold
you
on. I'm
know,
gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up because I wasn't gonna tell this story this early, but we'll tell the story
I
now.
know,
'Cause-
we have to though.
all right, so for people watching this live and on the replay, what happened was
What
there
happened
was a
was,
talent show. Right, a high school talent show. It's important that we remember this is a high school talent show in Delaware, of all places. The reaction doesn't sound like that, but where we were is in Delaware on a high school talent show stage. That sounds innocent. Okay,
as
so I'm,
say,
I'm going to lead us to your verse, and then you tell us how you perceived it from that point. It was three of us. Shout out to my boy Vil. It was me, my boy Vil, and Zeus. We were all on that stage, right? Now, prerequisite. I was sick that week. We didn't do a sound check. That matters. We all were rapping. We had three different beat changes in the thing. The performance, if you looking back, was fire. Like it was a fire
it was
idea
though.
because
It was though.
the
Yeah.
beats were going to change. We all had our own moment. It was going to be the hook was together. Again, no sound check. If you're a performer, do a sound check. We get there. We're performing. We start off on stage. Hey, turn me up on turn me up on the speakers. Turn me up. They think we're just rapping. They think they're rappers. They're saying rap lines. Turn me up. Turn
I
me up.
forgot about that part.
That's huge because they did not turn us up. Okay, there was no turn up at all. Things I recall. Again, forgive us for how this plays out. Bill had some lines that were questionable. Okay, when I say questionable, I remember there was a line that sounded something like raw like a pop condom, talking about his flow, talking about his flow. But they couldn't hear us, and the beat cut out. So all they crowd heard was blah, 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 raw like a pop condom. They didn't hear nothing before that or after that beat came in. They couldn't hear him rapping at all. So he about two of those versions, moments where the beat cut out for the salacious bar, and then it just, oh, did you just say that? Again, high school talent show. High school talent show. So by the time he was done, there's a rumble in the crowd. The crowd is rumbling. Like the crowd's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh. Right. The boos start to creep in. They wasn't really right. They wasn't right. Boom. Second verse come in. I start off a cappella, so they could hear half my verse.
Yep.
They couldn't hear the second half of my verse, which was like, okay, not too bad, but it was like they couldn't hear it, so they was already disgruntled from the first verse. Don't get me wrong, they wasn't clapping for me, but they was just like, we don't really know what's happening here. The hook comes in. I don't remember what me and Bill rapped to. I do know that Zeus's verse started to suck us by Philly's Most Wanted. If y'all don't know that
Yep.
build up, that it was wrong too. It
Yeah.
was so wrong.
Yep.
And then he starts rapping. Then now Zeus, you take it from there. What happened as you start rapping in your
God,
opinion?
listen. So check it, right? I had two different versions, right? That I had wrote it one version first, right? And what basically happened was at one point towards the end of the verse, I said, you know what? I don't like that ending. Let me change the ending, right? So I changed the ending. So the second version was the final version, right? Well, what happened was I rapped the first version and without realizing towards the end, damn, I just forgot this one line that would have led to the end of the final version. So there I was caught because I had never finished the first version. So then I'm just like, I'm just freestyling the rest of it. And,
Yeah.
and if if memory serves, I just remember looking out into the audience while I was rapping this, like, I'm lost as hell right now. Like, but I mean, I finished it off. I finished it off. But yeah, I'll let you finish how that ended.
Yeah, because so here's what happened, right? In his okay, so after switching the verse and the things going left, we got booed. Uh, we got booed. Like we got booed. Like again, you
Like
would have thought that this was
bad.
Apollo. I expected Sandman to come out. They booed us at a high school talent show in Delaware. Like this is what happened.
Yep.
Like you would have thought like they didn't care nothing about it at all. Shouts out to Bill. He gave the crowd the finger.
Did he? Did
Yes,
he? I
he
didn't even
did.
know that.
Yes,
Nah.
he did. Yes, yes, yes. He flipped the crowd the bird again at a high school talent show in Delaware. This happened, and then we
Oh,
left. The recovery didn't work. It just ended like that. We went ahead and exited the stage.
crazy.
Which, by the way, if you ever get booed off the stage, it's not as bad as you think. Okay, because like after the fact,
Once you're
after the
off the
fact,
stage, you're off the stage. It's a done deal.
stage. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? You know, and fun fact, you don't actually see who was booing you. We didn't know who was booing. That's the wildest part. In hindsight, because
That's the
yeah,
best part. That's the best part, though. You don't want to see who's booing you, right? You don't want to see the individual faces of the people that are booing you off the stage. You know what I mean? You just want to think that this is just some mass, like, it's just, oh, they're just all together booing. That other person was booing because that person was booing, and it just was you know, yeah.
they did that. Luckily, there were no tomatoes or fruit to be thrown. But
Woo!
upon this boo situation, right? This is also funny to me. They're not like because we were in high school and none of us had cars, so we're like outside of the building when it ends. People are walking out. Hey, what happened, bro? That was crazy. Like, I don't know where you booing. Like, we couldn't see who was booing it. They're just like, all right, yo, like again,
Were you
yeah,
like,
don't boo.
these same people that are asking you this are probably the ones that were booing.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
had
we
a
don't
great time.
know.
It was, it was bad. It was bad.
It was
Um,
crazy,
yeah,
crazy, crazy.
shouts out. Listen, if you've ever been booed before, probably not. Most people haven't experienced that. So if you're ever afraid to go on the stage, it's okay. Now, you said I gave you a pep talk after this moment. I do not remember that, but
I
what happened?
remember, Jarrell went like DMX on me or something. It was like a scene from I don't know. It was like he thought he was in Belly all of a sudden. He's like, yo, man, yo, listen, you gotta know that you tried. You put your all into this. All right? You put your all into this. And we killed that. We killed that. We killed that. Like, he just kept going on and on and on. I'm just like, all right, all right, all right.
Oh, that tracks.
That's,
That tracks. No, like understand something. So yes, that tracks. I probably did. I believe I gave that type of talk. I was there. I was screwed because yeah, screw them. Yeah, definitely hit the monologue.
Hit the
Uh,
monologue. Yeah.
the monologue. I was buns from belly.
Yo, by the way, shout out to my brother Chris in the comments, man. He was in King of Newark III with me as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We gonna get there too. We gonna get there too. But yeah, and it's if anybody's wondering, the right after that wasn't as awkward. Oh, it was like it wasn't. We weren't happy, but it wasn't. You know, you get over it. You live to write another day, and now he's in movies, and I'm doing it. Like I'm on stages. I do spoken word. I hope. Like, see,
Yep.
listen, and I tell you
Yep.
right now, I can't. I will never can't like be nervous or scared about the worst that can
Yep.
happen. Because what's the worst that's about to happen? We already got booed. Like, question: does that affect? Like, does knowing that change how you proceed or handle any of the public speaking moments or
Ooh,
on screen or anything?
that's a really good question because I'm definitely someone that feeds off the audience whenever it's a live, whenever it's a live, performance of any sort, even if it's a presentation. Like I think about my full time job, my 9 to 5. Sometimes I'm presenting things and I'm looking at the audience, or shareholders or whatever, whoever it is in that moment, and kind of trying to sense their reaction, and I feed off of that.
Mm,
So it's really hard when you're presenting to an audience that you're not really feeling that feeling from. If you feel like they're not really into it, it's tough, man. So I look back on that moment, you know, when we got booed, and like much like you said, like what's the worst that could happen? I already got booed off the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else are they gonna do? Are they gonna boo me too? Are they gonna boo me at work? Like, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? What's the worst that can happen? And that's the way, I kind of think about it now. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had another performance that was on stage at the Hispanic Festival in Wilmington about like I don't know if it was a year later, but
mm,
I just remember going up there with that same mindset. Like I was already booed off stage. No one here is gonna boo me off stage. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. That's it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? All I can do is learn from it. If I get some critique afterwards, that's great. I always love a good critique. Whether it's with acting or performing or whatever the case may be, a good critique is always, amazing. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? You gotta get the
And if
yeah.
you're ever unsure how to react to things, just in case the audience watching, a good critique works. Booing, not necessary, but I respect it if you do it. Like I get it. Like I get it. As somebody who's been through it, maybe you want to help build somebody else's character the way that our character was built. We were made strong through the boo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was the boo heard around the world.
Yes, yes. You would have never thought. Like, never would have thought that. Like, that was
Man.
Wilmington whiskey. All right, so okay. Now, okay, right now, since then, you became like this on-screen presence. When you first started getting to being on screen, like you said, you lived a whole life, right? You done had what I like to call like multiple lifetime like spaces, right? Boom, kids, like boom, boom, boom. You said, you know what? I'm going back into this performing space again, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how'd you wind up back on screens?
Yeah. So basically, I want to say, 2023. All right. Literally, New Year's resolution type of thing, right? I started off the year and I said, you know, I have a lot of dreams, there's a lot of things that I've always wanted to do. And I've been like literally just kind of saying, hey, I got my job, I have this, I have that, I don't have time for it. I was making excuses at the end of the day as to why I couldn't follow my dreams, as to why I couldn't, accomplish my goals. And I just kind of had a moment of awakening per se, and just kind of said, you know what? I got to stop making excuses. You know what I mean? Like, I need to, buckle in, right? and figure this out. How am I going to start? Right? And I think it's important, whatever it is you're trying to do, make yourself kind of steps, right? Small, manageable steps just to get started. And you'll be surprised at how far that's going to get you. You think they're small steps? So, like, for example, for me, one of my first steps was I need to get onto a casting website, right? That was my first step. Easy, right? You just fill out a form, sign up for a membership, blah, 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 blah. Done. So I did that. When I did that, one of the first, I want to say maybe a day, maybe not even a day later, I think, I was reached out because, of course, I put on the application that I'm bilingual, and Enamorándonos hit me up. Now, mind you, I was on a casting website. I was doing this because I wanted to pursue acting.
Right.
But Enamorándonos said, free trip to Miami. We'll pay for your stay. Everything's paid for. You're going to get on-screen experience. Listen, I'm not saying no to that, right? So I went for it. I said yes, finally. Because this is something I wouldn't have done, like, say, a year or two before. Because I would always think, like, oh, I don't want to do that because this, and that. I would make excuses. I was done with the excuses in 2023. I said, nah, I need to make this happen. Whatever it is, if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I got an experience from it.
Okay, hold on, back up, right?
Yeah.
In case for those of you who may not know, and I'm the most. I keep saying we're gonna play this
Yeah,
game.
enamorándonos. Yeah, yeah,
Amber,
yeah.
see, yeah, no, nope, not gonna do it. The
That
E
one.
Money Show. You feel me? The E Dating Show. You feel me?
There we
On
go.
Univision,
There we go.
right? The interesting part to me about this, right? Let's go back because I can't look at this in a vacuum. You go to a casting site instead of getting casted for a movie or a TV show acting. You get casted for a dating show.
A dating
You
show.
you are a single father of two daughters.
Mm-hmm.
In that same version, like hold up.
Yep.
Hey, what was that like too? How do you have to break that to the kids? Like, okay, listen, you might see some daddy do some things.
Yeah.
Look,
You might see some things.
some things.
No, no, no,
Daddy
no,
got to
no.
make friends too.
You know, surprisingly enough, my daughters are some of the most supportive people, like other than, of course, my mother, my family, of course, they're all supportive, but my daughters, especially my younger daughter, um, shout out to Annalise, Tati, but my younger daughter, she is so supportive. She's like, Dad, you need to go do this. You wanted to do this stuff. You wanted to, she is so unbelievably supportive. When I'm double guessing and I'm saying, I don't know if I should do this. I remember I had a conversation with her literally like maybe a night or two before. I was like, Adali, what do you think? I don't know if I want to do this because, I'm going to be leaving you behind, even though it's for a week. Like, she's like, Dad, go, go, you know? So hearing that from her, I was like, all right, that's all I need.
Okay.
You know?
She said,
Um,
Dad, go find you somebody, Dad. Go
yeah.
find you somebody, Dad. We tired of you just being here alone. Nah, go get you
Go
some. Get
go
you one of them.
get yourself somebody, or at least have a good time looking,
Look, yeah.
trying. You know what I'm
I say,
saying?
don't not listen. Your daughters ain't gonna encourage you. The time better not be too good.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, 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 yeah. Just like have fun in Miami. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Like,
fun in Miami.
you
Listen,
know.
don't, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So you go down there, right? What was it like? Uh, as much as you can say, what was it like for you to go on this dating show? Because again, you went
Yeah.
for acting. You went to be an actor.
Yep.
Now you are, you are on The Bachelor. Like this was
Yeah.
different. It really
It was
was.
different, man. Well, first of all, it was my first time in Miami. I had been to Florida before, but never Miami. So that was that was like it was dope, right? It was really dope to go down there, and it was funny because I had a friend that I convinced to go on the show before me. He started a week before, and he was telling me, he's like, listen, like they're gonna have you waiting backstage quite a bit. You know, for the first few days, you're probably gonna be waiting backstage. They might not put you on, which is cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I'll sit backstage. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like to get the experience to sit backstage, I'm good. Well, I went on a Saturday, so I got to kind of party it up in Miami, you know, that weekend. And then Monday came along, my first time on the show. First of all, I'm not used to having makeup put on me, but I mean they put makeup on you. They put
Okay.
makeup on you. Like a lot. So so I go on, right? And one of the producers pulls me aside and she tells me, "Hey, this is the person that we have you matched with, blah blah blah." You know, just kind of prepping me for it. So you know, I go back and sit down. And then she's like, I'm like, oh, by the way, when am I going on? Like tomorrow, the day after? She said, oh no, you're going on today. You're the first one. And I'm just like, what? What did you just say? You know? That was crazy. That was crazy. But I think I handled it pretty well. You know, you can find the videos on YouTube actually. They got all the episodes on there.
All
But
the footage. All the footage is on there of you on the dating show trying to figure out if it's the one or not.
trying to figure out my life, man. Trying to figure out my life, man.
Okay. Okay. I will ask this. Did you leave with a friend?
All right. So yes, I did. I met a beautiful young woman that we hit it off. So I mean the whole point of the show is to find
That's
somebody,
right.
right? So
That's right.
once you
But
find
everybody don't.
somebody,
But everybody don't.
yeah,
Everybody don't.
exactly, exactly. So like I found her, right? We met, we hit it off, and things were great in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, so
as
after
the
the show, y'all really like it was real.
oh yeah, no, it was real. Oh yeah, 110%. Oh, it was real. She lived in Atlanta. I lived, you know, where I live, right? And we were making it work. She's an influencer, like full-time influencer. So she whatchamacallit, we made it work. We were going back and forth. And you know, things we just as with anyone you meet, right? You get to know each other and sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't, you know? And this particular one didn't so happen to work out. So you know, we had to unfortunately, you know, we ended things, but unfortunately we had to go back to break up as well. We had to go back on the show to announce we were breaking up. Y-
Awkward. Right.
Yeah,
So y'all ended. Right. So y'all ended, and then it was like, all right, we done. Nah, we gotta go there
we
and
got to
tell them
go
that we done.
back to the show and announce and be like, yeah, we broke up. And mind you, she has like, I mean, she has a lot of followers, but you can only imagine how many fans she has. So, all those fans were not very happy with me, if you can imagine, you know. I mean, I did nothing wrong, right? But it was the fact
You
that
got booed again.
I
Let me
was,
find out you got
yo,
booed
I
again.
got booed again. Yo, I got booed again. I got booed again. I got booed
Oh,
again. You're right. I got booed again.
this is not funny. I promise you. Ooh, okay, so you're because her fan. This is a live audience.
This is a live audience. Not only like the audience was fine because the live audience, there's only so many of them, right? So I'm like, that's fine. I can deal with that. It was
Okay.
the plethora of viewers that wanted to hit me up on my Instagram, comment on every one of my posts, DM me saying how bad of a person I was for breaking up with her. I had support too, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I had people that were very
Right.
supportive and like, oh, you know, you did the right thing, blah, blah, blah. But then I had way more of the, yeah. just
She had
bad
a
things.
hive after you. She had her own little hive taking nation. That is raw.
Yeah.
How long did that
And they
last?
were they and listen, they were hornets. They weren't bees, man. They were hornets. So, you know.
How long did it last for them to hate?
Um
Essentially,
It was like I would say about a month or so when it finally died down. Like you can only stick to one like couple for so long. You got so many couples on that show. It's like, am I really gonna waste all my energy on this one? Well, I don't know why they're wasting energy on anyone, to be honest. But anyway,
well,
um, you know,
well, listen,
you know.
because you broke her heart. I'm lying. I don't know if you did that at all. I don't. That's not how it was worded either. But you know what? We here though.
Yeah,
We
yeah, yeah,
here
yeah.
now. So they don't. They ain't care. They ain't care. They was ready. That she was their girl. She was. They was riding. They was riders. You
Oh,
feel me?
they were. Oh, she had a lot of ride or dies. I'll say that.
So like
She
you would
did.
post something random and they would just be in your
They would be in
comments.
my DMs. Why did you do that to her? And I'll be like, bro, this is a post about music. Like, what? Why are you why are you asking me about something that has nothing to do with what I just posted? You know what I'm saying?
Sir, I am learning the bachata.
I'm telling you, I'm learning the bachata, and you guys are asking me about why you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy,
God.
man.
I do want to know who ended it, you or her.
So essentially it was me, right? Like I was the one who ended it. Did I freeze?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
freeze there.
but I can hear you. So it's
Okay, this is weird. Um, let me turn off my Wi-Fi and see that. Oh, I'm still frozen. What is going on?
that's fine. But
Oh,
so for now,
okay. Yeah,
let's carry on. So who?
the one that ended things. Um,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, we got to a rough patch, and you know, I just said, hey, like when my peace is very important to me, right? And in all my years of life, man, I came to the realization I just have very little tolerance for something that's going to disrupt my peace. And when it's a lot of it, there's certain things that can be worked out, right? But when you try to work things out and we're still getting to the same result each time we have these conversations, what are we doing here, right? There's only so many times that we can go back and try to work things out, and then for you to say, oh well, I can do better. It's like, well, can we though? Because we've tried this a few times, right? It didn't work out. And so I think things don't work out. Like nothing's ever perfect. Like, you know, that's the whole point of, having the date. You have to see who the person is.
Oh,
And
okay. Now I am curious, right? Because you essentially, right? You had I don't even know. This is kind of beyond viral because it's a viral moment.
yeah,
But then it's also on TV. Like this was on television,
yeah.
and there were children. Like you have kids. So did your kids see you deal with the internet? That's how I look at it. Like the kids see you deal with the internet.
I think that was probably the hardest part for me. Not only my kids, but my mom as
Ooh.
well. To kind of see, to see these comments that were being made about me. I'm sorry. Not only, listen, I had, my daughter, my mom, friends of mine that were going to bat for me in these comments. And I'm just like, listen, don't even waste your energy on it. Please. I love that you're doing that for me, and I love that you're, sticking up for me, but really there's really no point. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because it's like you're defending me, yes, but the people that you're defending me to, they're not listening. Because here's what I realized. I most of the DMs that I was getting, I wouldn't respond to, right? But every now and then I would just get so annoyed. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to respond to this person because they don't understand. They don't know the situation. And I would respond to them after them saying some nasty thing to me in the DMs. I would respond to them like, hey, you don't know the situation. You weren't there. And then all of a sudden they change their tune right away. It's like they just wanted the attention. They're
Yeah,
like, oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying you guys were a beautiful couple and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, but you weren't just saying that a minute ago. You were saying some crazy stuff about me. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So, it's like a lot of them are people that just, when you confront them, that's when they kind of like, you know,
Right,
get
right.
back
Because
at you.
they ain't really mean it. They was like, I'm sorry, I just wanted some
Yeah.
likes. So
I
you
just
had any
wanted to see
extra
if
likes.
you
I thought you
talked
had
to
some
me.
extra likes. And listen,
No.
you had some extra likes and try to grab that
Oh,
off you real quick.
I've had that too. I had that too. I've had girls that were commenting nasty comments on my stories. Like I had one girl saying, yeah, I have some like, wrinkles here on my forehead, and she was like, you need Botox, right? So I responded to her. I said something like, what do what is it that you're trying to get at? And she's like, oh, I just wanted to get your response. I'm like, wow, that's how you get my response. Interesting.
But listen, shouts out because you gained a couple thousand followers. Now, so what made you did? Like, listen, I sound petty, but you did. Like, it
You're
wasn't like
right.
it was. So okay, right. What made you then say, you know what? I'm not done. I could go out. You went back out for the castings. Like you didn't, because you could have just been like, all right, I don't want to be the public eye no more. I don't feel like dealing with that. What made you decide to go back into that world?
Well, to my original point, right? The fact that I wanted to get into acting in the first place, right? I didn't really, this show kind of, you know, it had its purpose, right? But it kind of derailed me from that
Mm,
because this isn't an acting job. This was a reality show. You
mm,
know what I'm saying? So this kind of put me in a position where I had to get back into, hey, that's not what I started this for. You know what I'm saying? I didn't, get on this casting website to be on a reality show. Ultimately, that wasn't the goal. You know, it was a happy accident. But at the end of the day, I wanted to get back into what I originally wanted to get back into, and it's a big difference, right? You got your reality show where you're presenting yourself essentially to a very large audience. Whereas with acting, you can be anyone, right? You're that character in that moment. You're not, I'm not Zeus, right? I'm not, I'm not Zeus in any of these roles. I might be a drug dealer from the 80s, or I might be a bodyguard for a cartel queen. I might be a FBI agent. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that are not Zeus, but I can slip into and kind of escape reality in some ways. You know what I mean?
oh, dope. All right. So then so what was your next role?
Yeah, my next role from here.
Yeah.
Um, my next role after this show, right? Um, was actually when I got on board for Garcias. So I saw the role for Garcias. I saw that they were holding auditions, right? Now, mind you, I didn't know much about what the movie was about. Of course, many people, nobody really did, right? You're going into these auditions a little bit blind, right? You see the characters' names and such, but you don't really know what their role is in the movie. So I love this because I go into this audition, mind you, this is one of my first auditions for an on-screen film, right? And I go in and I read for a couple of small parts, right? And I try out for them. And it's the director slash writer of Garcia's, also the star, and a couple of other people that were with him, right? So when I was done auditioning for these two parts, they were like, okay, um, we want you to audition for this other part. So I'm just like thinking, oh man, I must have did terrible. You know what I mean? Like thinking they don't want me for these parts. They're probably gonna try to give me like a really small part or whatever. So they gave me the script and they say, "Hey, we want you to read for this role, Rusty. Go ahead and study the lines real quick. Come back." Came back. I auditioned. Right, did my thing. Uh, they loved it. So, mind you, at this point, I still don't know who I just auditioned for. I get a call from the director slash writer the very next day, and he's like, "Listen, the two first parts that you auditioned for, there was some other people that auditioned for them. They bodied that role. So I'm sorry we can't offer you that role, but I want to offer you the role of Rusty, the last one you auditioned for." So I'm still kind of in the dark. I don't know who. I'm like, great. Like I didn't care. I just wanted to be a part of it. I did not care what role I got. He said, "You're gonna play my brother. You're gonna be one of the main characters in this movie." He said, "You're gonna be in this movie more than I am." Mind you, this is the guy that wrote it and is starring in it. Yeah. Um, that was crazy.
Wow. Okay, so now you go from you go from reality show to then auditioning thinking you'll just be some random in the cast, just a part of it, to now being one of the main uh one of the main characters essentially in a major supporting role in this movie. Was it hard to manage the pressure?
Um, so yes, little bit, right? Not only am I playing a role that's the main role of the movie, this is also based on a true story. Okay. This is the writer of this who also starring as my brother. He's actually playing his father and I'm playing his uncle. Okay. So mind you, right? We're filming in Spanish Harlem, right? We're filming where everything took place, right? So we have the OGs walking by that knew my character, right? That knew his father, right? So talk about having a lot to live up to, right? Not only am I in this starring role where I'm acting, this is really my first time really on film, but I'm also like I'm kind of trying to live up to this legend. You know what I mean? That everyone knows, and trying to kind of emulate that. Um, but the confirmation I got was from, the director slash writer slash star of it, Carlos. Shout out to Carlos. You know, he gave me that confirmation. He's like, you body in this role. You body in this role. You Uncle Russ, like all the way. For him to say that meant the world to me, and I knew like, all right, I'm on the right track. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what that a lot of the pressure was. The pressure came in a lot of ways, but I think it just made me better as better in the role and better as an actor in general. Just to kind of be able to emulate that and like be this character, that was actually around, that had a whole life that people knew. You know what I mean?
Woo,
So yeah, talk about pressure.
yeah, yes. Now, okay, so right, so you go from so out this journey, right? You have a couple different roles. You also are building yourself as a content creator, and you transition. You get some experience, and now you're in the Kings of Newark, right? What's it like taking the information that you know now, going into this, and going into that film, and going into films now versus what it was like when you kind of just started getting back in it? What's the difference for you?
Yeah. um the expectation on time. you know um you think, you watch scenes, right? You watch movies, and like, for example, one scene, right? One scene, you think, oh, this is a quick scene. This scene, you watch it and the scene took maybe 5 minutes. It was a 5 minute scene. Well, that 5 minute scene could easily take like hours because one, you have to shoot it from different angles. Two, you have to take multiple takes sometimes. You know, sometimes like that one take, nah, we weren't really feeling that. Try it this way. You know what I mean? For one reason or another, you know, we have to keep, you know, we have to get it right. You know what I'm saying? We have to get it right. That's most important. Now, mind you, that's for independent film. I've done I was actually I had an extra part on Dexter recently. Um the newer season and just for that being extra for this one scene, I mean, we were there. I was there like mind you, this was supposed to be for a couple scenes, but I was there for like 12 hours that day. Yeah. Yeah, so that's yeah, it's crazy. So I think so to answer your question, like the amount of time it takes kind of, you know, you don't want to underestimate the amount of time that you're going to be putting into this. You know, acting is fun, right? But it's a craft, right? It's essentially, I mean, it is a job, right? You're working. You know what I mean? You're putting in that work. Yeah, if you enjoy it and you have a passion for it, it's going naturally, it's going to be fun. It's going to be something that you're going to enjoy doing. But it does take time. You got like patience is so important in this field. Being able to be patient from when you're trying to shoot this scene and that scene and waiting to shoot your scene, you know, whatever the case is, having that patience is so important. You know,
Yes.
it's so important.
Ooh, so I guess so. Being a father has helped you. Like that's what you tell
I couldn't have said it better myself.
like that.
I couldn't have said
That's
it
the
better
word.
myself. You said it all. You said it all.
Listen, because you need patience. And you got having girls, yeah, yeah. Well, I think you need patience having kids, but girls definitely, because yeah, yeah. So I'm with you. I'm with you now. All right. I like to ask all my guests this, right? Um, if you could give advice to a younger version of yourself, right? A young wreaking havoc.
You.
A young wreaking havoc.
Sorry. You took me out of left field with that one.
Shout out my man Eddie in the comments, by the way. He know wreaking havoc. He was there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
some people know wreaking havoc. All right. All right.
God, I can't even see the comments. Oh.
Listen, you're good. Just know if you had to give advice to a young wreaking havoc, but the younger version of you is still 2025. So it's you then, that type of person, right? The younger version of you, but all of the 2025 things, right? Because the
Yeah,
world is a lot different now,
sure.
right? So if you had to give an advice to a younger version of you in this year, what advice would you give?
Gosh. One thing I can say is, and I know this is gonna sound cliche, but stop doubting yourself. Okay. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had ideas for something that I've thought about and I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. I wanna, you know, but then I'm like, nah, you know, I don't think it's gonna work. For one reason or another, right? Whatever the idea might be. Might be a rap line, right? It might be a line, you know, that you know, a bar that I'm like, that sounds corny. Because then what happens? You hear someone else do it, right? And then you're like,
Yeah.
I had that idea, but I thought it was stupid, right? And that goes further to say this, right? Um, just any goal in general, right? Anything in general that you want to do, stop doubting yourself. This is me talking to my, you know, stop doubting yourself. If you want to do it, go do it. Stop saying no and say yes. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much beauty in averages. Okay, the number, the more that you try and fail. Think about how averages work, right? You do things a certain number of times. If you only do it twice and you fail twice, guess what? Those averages, you only have two numbers to average out, right? And you fail both times. Yeah, that sucks. I failed. I'm done, right? Now, if you try, say that, let's compare that to 100. Try 100 times. Guess what? Your averages just went up. Because if you're trying 100 times, you're not going to fail 100 times. Guarantee you. You know what I'm saying? Bet on yourself every time. Try as many times as you can. Because that average is going to average up. And the more you try, the average is going to keep going up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. In other words, you ain't always wrong. Okay, you're
Yeah.
not always wrong. So in other words, keep an eye out because he'll be back on the dating show again because you gotta try.
You have to. You have to. And listen, you got to get booed off stage.
Yes,
You have to
yes,
get booed off stage at least once in your life.
gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Because some of you haven't been booed off stage and it shows.
That's a fact.
Okay?
That's a great point. That is a great point.
Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. You have to get booed off
Oh
stage.
man,
Whatever that stage is, you have to
whatever
get
that
booed off.
stage is, you got to get booed off at one good time. It changed. And listen, you'll be prepared. You'll be prepared. Listen, oh man. All right, so with a phenomenal interview, wise words from a great man. I tell people now, just so you know, I tell people, if you give me a word, I give you a
Yeah.
poem, which is odd that I've known you for so long and you've never given me a word. We used to do so. Fun fact, okay? I don't. How can I tell this story? I don't treat it like it's that wild because we used to do this. Okay, we used to freestyle in circles and rap and just
That was our
go.
lunch. That was our lunch in high school.
This
We used to
was
be in those
live.
little
Yes,
ciphers.
that's what we did.
Yep.
Zeus, Eddie did it for a million times. Like, listen, one time I'll bring him up here. We'll have these conversations. Me and Bill did it my whole life. Like, this is what we did. So it's not that odd to me that I do it now. I recognize that, hey, this is an ability, but it's not that deep in my brain sometimes. But with that said, while you think of a word, I got to do what I call a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. When I show some love to some phenomenal people who do some dope things or doing some dope things or some dope things that happen. When I say that, a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Oh, quick hat tip. Blip, blip. 2, Jumpstart Wilmington, the developer network event. Yes. Jumpstart Wilmington. They had from vision to reality, transforming Wilmington communities. That's right, y'all. With speakers, I'm talking about Logan Heron was up in there. If y'all don't know what Logan do from the WRK group, he's part of the transformation of the city. He's heavily involved. Marvin Hammond, yes, Marvin, a developer from South Ridge. Man, we in the community. This is what I'm talking about. Charlie Bass Davis, yes, in the community, or Charlie Bass Davis, yes, the chairperson of Wilmington Community Growth Organization, and Aaron Bass, CEO of East Side Charter, y'all. Yes, that was today. They was up in there kind of telling you about what's happening in the city. You know what I'm saying? The city is transforming. That's what it is. See, I don't know, Zeus. I don't know if you know that the world is, listen, out here, the city a little different. They moving some things around. You see what I'm
Really?
saying? Yeah, brother. It's listen, I tell you, all I'll say is this. My next hat tip. Blip, blip. Next hat tip. Blip, blip. Okay. Oh, the Blondie Mansion pop-up residency. Yes, I'm talking about the Delaware Arts Alliance. They presented their Create Plan live at MKT Place. This was on Wednesday. It was a pop-up residency experience. If y'all don't know, okay, when I say look up the Delaware Arts Alliance, they are advocates of the arts in Delaware, in the city, in Wilmington, well, actually throughout the state. So they kind of talked about their plan to help boost the arts throughout the whole situation. Of course, when Blondie Mansion's involved, there's art, there's music, it's a whole vibe. It was lit in there. So shouts out, and they had the Q&A sessions to kind of see see how the actions are going on. So quick hat tip to them, blip blip. Quick hat tip to them, blip blip. Also got to do a hat tip. Got to do a quick hat tip to Isbelito. Yes, Isbelito National
Is
Code.
brother is
Yeah. See, I know you
brother
know him. I know you know him.
is love brother is, man.
Yes. Well, guess what? Iz was putting together. Iz was putting together a powwow at the Delaware Art Museum, an authentic powwow. That was last Saturday. They listen. Listen. They had the guard. Right, they was outside. It was the fourth annual situation powwow at the Delaware Art Museum. It's
I
beautiful
wanted
to
to
be able
make
to
that. Yeah,
do
I
that.
missed that.
Yeah. Listen. I want to say they do it. I think they do it twice a year, maybe.
Yep.
So, definitely is lets us know. Keep an eye out when I update the calendar. It be there. It be there. I
Yeah.
talk about it. I'm send it to you. Also, I might not, but also, hey, what do you want me to say? I'm playing, but listen. Also, quick hat tip. Blip blip. Hat tip. Blip blip. To every man counts. Every man counts. Had a daddy daughter part dance. See, listen, I'm trying. I'm putting it deep. Listen, when you're in town,
Wow.
you need to know that they had the daddy daughter dance for every man counts. Shouts out to Ajavon, my man from 3G Management, Shannon Lowley, the whole squad over at every man counts was over at the PAL Wilmington. Yeah, it was a sneaker ball, right? They had the
That's
sneaks
dope.
on. You come, yeah. You need. It's about time. It's been a while since you did the little daddy daughter ball. It's time. They've been
It's about
waiting. That's why they wanted you to go
that
get
time.
somebody.
Yeah, it's been too long.
It's been too long.
I don't
Time
know.
for a daddy.
That's if my daughters are not embarrassed to be around me now, because you know they're
Who
teenagers. So
cares? Embarrass them the right way. Okay. Sometimes you gotta embarrass your kids.
that part.
Sometimes you gotta embarrass your kids. That
That part.
deserves a hat tip. Also, okay. Children. Okay. Also, a quick hat tip. Blip blip. Hat tip. Blip blip to Ari the artist and the Prosperous Perspective team. Listen, they are giving away. Well, technically, they're giving away a ticket to the Cowboy Carter. They're giving away the Cowboy Carter tickets to Cowboy Carter concert May 22nd in New York. All you gotta do is buy the Echo Deck raffle ticket. That's your raffle ticket. Buy Echo Deck. That's a raffle ticket. And then you text Cowboy to this number. I put it in the comments, or I put it in when I post it, and complete the raffle entry form. When you get the raffle entry form, and you buy the thing, then you get a ticket. You could win a ticket. Could win a ticket to Cowboy Carter. Shouts out to Ari the artist and the Prosperous Perspective team auctioning off some tickets to see Cowboy Carter, the Beyonce. Some of y'all know y'all wanted to do it. Listen, you seen Beyonce live? You seen Beyonce?
Yeah.
Oh, see. So
On
you want
TV. On
to?
TV.
See, so he gotta get his Echo Journal too. He needs to be writing journaling about how he didn't see her in person yet, and then maybe he could win this situation. Listen, last but not least, quick hat tip, blip blip, quick hat tip, blip blip to you, my man Zeus, the man, the myth, the legend, wreaking havoc for coming on this show, telling the people all my business about the booth situations. Tell them
About
about
getting
how
booed off
hard it is
stage.
on these Delaware stages. It ain't that hard, by the way. I don't want to do that. If you don't know, it was that hard for us, but it won't be that hard for you, right? And it was that hard for him on a dating show. It won't be that hard. It wasn't even that hard on a dating show. Dating show was fun, but
No,
when
it
it
was
ended,
fun. It was fun. It was fun.
it
Exactly.
was fun.
Just the point is say yes. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
It doesn't matter. Say yes.
say
Say
yes,
yes.
say yes, and break up in private because who wants those problems? He already got the check. I'm not going back. Like I'm not going back. Y'all already paid me. We're not doing this again.
Yo!
Okay. Just saying. Sometimes you gotta do it in private. Oh my goodness. With that said, you have a word for me, sir. Oh, actually, did anybody you want to give a hat tip to?
Oh gosh. Oh, I got a lot of people to give a hat tip to. Who don't I? My daughters. Bloop bloop. My daughters Tati and Annalise. My my family. Adriana, Nana, Brian, Manny, my brother Swan. He's been a great inspiration in the acting world. He's also family. Um, Man, I got so many people. My brother Heartbreak Poppy, Ulysses Terrero.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ulysses has been amazing, amazing. Violet Galagasa, like she's been absolutely amazing. My girl Black Rose, um, Jasmine Ruiz, Mark Rain. Um, Gosh, the list goes on. Man, I know I'm gonna forget people and they're gonna kill me later. So I hate doing shout outs, but I think I got the majority of them. So yeah.
That's it. That's it. So hat tip to all of y'all for all y'all beautiful contributions. Bleep, bleep. And and it's National Poetry Month. So let me see what word you got for me, good brother.
Um, Epiphany.
Okay, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, I'm thinking. Oh wait, hold on. I just thought of something. See, it like literally just hit me that you can be whatever you're supposed to be as long as you do whatever you're supposed to do and try. That's the hard part because fear will fill you full of anxiety, and now you're afraid to do what you're supposed to do to be that person that you thought you could be. Self-doubt creeps in. See, now all of a sudden you're looking for a reason to not do that thing that you should have been did, and now you don't know when you're supposed to start and acting like you don't have the heart to truly begin. It gets better. When I say it gets better, a lot of times you're spending too much time wasting time being a tear shedder about moments that hasn't happened yet to realize that what you'll do next, ooh, they can't even fathom it. The person you're going to become, because you're just so not done, is going to be someone that will show you what it's like to be the best version. See, it just hit me that your mission isn't complete until you've done all those things you're supposed to do, until you achieved at least the thought of trying and said yes to you. Ooh. Sometimes you got to choose to make that move and don't be confused at the fact that you could lose. That's just how it goes. I ain't afraid, so ain't no need for me to try to duck the blues. I know what they might do. I don't have to try to learn my lessons from searching the comment section. All I would rather do is spend my time, I told you, finding that next yes and taking time for manifesting. I digress. See, what I want you to do as you take the time to understand me is find that next opportunity and don't look for a reason to retreat, but embrace your next epiphany so you can be who you're supposed to be. Boom. Something like little
Yo,
word salad. A little word salad.
let's get
Yeah.
it. Let's
Yeah.
get it.
That was your fault. You told me stuff. All I did was just regurgitate what we was talking about. It made,
It made sense.
yeah,
It made sense.
yeah. All I remember I said was say yes to you. Okay, say yes to, I'm gonna title that. Say yes to
Say yes
you. When last time
to
did you say
you.
yes to
Say yes
you?
to
Ooh,
you. Ooh,
right. You need to say that to them more often. All
yes.
right, man. Listen, this has been phenomenal. Anything you want to tell us people before we get up out of here?
Ah, um, you, you know, say yes to you.
Say yes to
That's it.
you.
That's it. Chase that dream. Don't let it fall by the waistline. You know,
Yes. Yes.
follow your dreams.
Big facts. Follow your dreams again. Phenomenal guest, my man Zeus. Shouts out to you. Go see Kings of Newark when it comes out for the P-Bow and all the other things he's in. Again, I'm doing Weed Stock to 420, so see me out there. And see me here next Thursday at 8:30. It's hats off with your boy G Dash. Jones, love yourself first and everything else will fall into place. With that said, I holla. Hey.